Hey there! I'm super excited to give you a tour of JobScreener AI. In this video, we're going to create a new project for the role we are hiring. Then we're going to add new candidates, run candidate matching, shortlist candidates, and we'll then create interview questions. Then set the project go live. Then we'll take an actual interview with JobScreener AI's interviewer. And finally, we're going to review all the results and reports, including behavior analysis. As a recruiter, you will see how you get a 360-degree view of the candidate and the clear picture of their strengths and weaknesses. All of this will save you over 15 hours of screening time. All right, we have a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay, so here we are, and this is the interface of JobScreener AI. So here we are on the home page. So you have several options here. So you can create a new project. A project is basically a new role that you're hiring, and it goes through the workflow of candidate matching, interview questions, and actually getting the project live, where the candidate receives an SMS or an email to schedule interview, and the whole process continues. And so you have an option to add new candidates. You have find candidate matching. And if you are a recruiter working on behalf of a client, you can add new clients. So let's first do the create a new project. So you have several ways to start a project. One is you can just do a free text and type. The second one being you can create from a template. There are several templates that exist within the JobScreener AI platform. And you also have an option to start a project by importing through a posted URL. So for example, if you have any job posting on LinkedIn or Indeed or Seek, you can basically just enter the URL and it will automatically get the job description from there. The other way is to create it manually if you want to create from scratch. So for this example, let's create from scratch. So I want to choose my client to be Google, for example, and I want to name this Project Manager 1, and I can call it Google Inc. If you have a rec number, you can enter the rec number. For the job description, I enter the job description of a project manager, and I will create a project. So here we have a project is created. Now, next thing I'm going to do is add new candidates to this project. So here we are. This is the page where you can add new candidates. So you have several options. You can either add from an existing candidate. Let's say we add someone named Michael in here. So I've added Michael, and I also want to upload a new candidate. So I go in, click on upload new candidates. I have several options to upload the candidate. I can upload the resume in bulk and PDF or docx files. I can add it manually, and there are two options coming up soon through API or ATS integration. So for this example, we're going to do as a bulk upload. So here I have, let's say, 2 resumes that I'm going to upload. You can see it's uploading pretty fast. However, there's several things we do while we upload. We make sure that the data is standardized for the resume formats, as well as it's presentable and easily readable for the clients. So what we did is we added 2 candidates and an existing candidate. So now we'll go back to the project. So as you can see, Michael has already been added. He was a candidate that existed within the JobScreener AI database. The 2 candidates are still being uploaded, and I'm going to set up new questions. And so for the interview questions, you have a greeting message right here, you have a closing message right here, and you have several options to add new questions. And here we are going to add some new questions. Let's say the first question is, what is your salary expectation? And something you would want to say up to, what is the expectation, up to 250K. And let's say the second question is, which city are you based in? And here we go, let's say San Diego, California. You can add new questions. Tell me a scenario where you had difficulty working with a coworker. So it could be a more longer question answers, or it could be a very short yes or no, or a very brief answers. And here you want to say, the candidate would need to specify an incident and how they handled it professionally. You can enter as much detail as you want, but for this demo, we're going to save it now. And I want to go back to see the candidates. And here you are, you have Kevin that's been added. Let's say I want to go and look at Kevin. And so this is the report page, but if I want to look through his profile, I can see Kevin, he's an experienced nurse, and this is his email, the contact information. Here's his resume, and it's a very standardized format. A lot of the resumes these days are all over the place, so in JobScreener AI, we made sure that it's all standardized within the same format. It's easily readable as well as presentable. So here we are. So it shows the resume, the candidate's education, any certificates, and you can look at what projects is the candidate associated with. And let's go back to the project. And let's say I want to run a match against these two candidates. So here what I can do is I can select these two candidates and I can say match resumes, and I can perform. You can see here there's the job description. It's listed right here. You will see the job criteria. You'll see what are the skill matches, required skills, preferred skills, and what are the experience matches, as well as education, as well as responsibilities and industry knowledge. And so I'm going to do a find match, and so give it about good 30 seconds or so while it's performing its magic, and we can see if Michael or Kevin is going to be a good match for the project manager 1 role. So here we have where we are already done with Kevin, and it's still working on Michael. So I can see that Kevin is 11% and Michael is 10%. I can select these candidates. I can compare these candidates. I can look through their summary as well as key matching elements and key missing elements. I can see there's a lot of missing elements, and it's a very small percentage of match. I can look at that qualification and look at the various skills. And so let's say I want to go back to the project, and let's say right here, project manager, and I look through candidates here. I can see that's already been populated under resume match right here for Kevin and Michael. Let's say I don't want to talk to Kevin because maybe he is not someone who would be a good match for this role. So I can remove the candidate. So I can remove it here. And so I only have one candidate, for example, Michael. There are some questions that are set. I go into settings and I can choose what different AI agent voice that I would want to have. There are some Australian female options, Australian male, American male and female, as well as some candidate reminders options. So for this demo, so we are going to go live because I've set the candidates, I've set the job details, the interviews have been set, the settings have been configured, and so I want the candidate to schedule interview over the next 7 days. And I'm going to change this from draft to active. And so I activate the project. Okay, so once the project is live, the candidate receives an SMS as well as email. So this is the page where the candidate would land once they click on the link they received on the email as well as SMS. So there are various options for the candidates. So they can select the time over the next 7 days. They can view the job details right here. And let's say for the demo, we are going to do the call right now. So I select on call me now. So here it is now. So I have received the call from JobScreener AI. So I'm going to take this call.
Hello, Michael Thompson. This is Brady calling on behalf of Google Inc. regarding your application for the Project Manager I Google Inc. role. Before we begin, I'd like to confirm that you're still interested in this position and have time for a brief conversation now. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
What is your salary expectation?
So I'm expecting somewhere around 120K.
Which city are you based in?
I'm based in San Francisco, California.
Tell me a scenario where you had difficulty working with a coworker.
Yeah, so there was one time that I remember working with a project manager, and I had really difficult time getting things done on time. And so he was not very professional. I had to deal with him where I had to raise it up with his manager and escalate it to the next level.
Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate your interest in the project management.
So I have now concluded the interview. So I'm going to go check on the reports. And so this is the role. And I can see right now that Michael Thompson, the notification has been sent, the call was scheduled, and the interview results is now processing. So as you can see here, this is the placeholder where there's going to be the interview results. We have several scores here for the interview score, communication, confidence. So I'm just going to refresh this to make sure if I have received the completed interview. So here you can see the interview results is a summary of the interview. You can see that there are several questions here. The first question about the salary expectation, it's a pass. The other one about the city, it's a fail because the candidate is located in San Francisco. And the third one, it gives an analysis of the difficulty working with a coworker. I'm just going to refresh this. So you can see there's the interview score, there is the communication score, and the confidence score. You can dig into a particular, let's say for example, I want to listen to the salary expectation part. I can click in here.
So I'm expecting somewhere around 120K. Hello?
You can go in there. You can listen in the entire interview by clicking on listen to interview.
This is Brady calling on behalf of Google Inc.
Or you can just go in, read through the transcript of interviewer as well as the candidate. You can see the entire transcript. You still can review the resume match, and here it is. So basically you have a complete picture of the candidate's hard skills, soft skills, communication, confidence, the overall interview, screening questions. You have a summary. You can go in, listen in at any of the snippet as well as the entire transcript and the interview. So now, based on all the results that I have and all the reports that I've analyzed, I'm going to make a decision. Let's say the outcome for this candidate is that I am going to reject this candidate. So you can see that the candidate has been rejected, based on the 360-degree view of the candidate that I have and all the questions and answers that's been sent.